Yo, dear listeners and viewers, hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are currently hurtling towards summer, at least in this hemisphere, which is awesome. And it also means that more and more of my clients are going on holiday. So I've been doing a lot of coaching about how to enjoy your time away without compromising your fat loss progress. And that's exactly what this episode is about. I'm going to talk about practical strategies to apply before, during, and after your summer holidays to have fun without setting yourself back. So if you're thinking, after putting so much effort into dieting, I'm always fucking it all up on holiday, this is the episode for you. Let's start with what to do before the holiday begins. My advice is simple. Get out of a deficit 3 to 7 days before you leave and increase calories to your estimated maintenance. When exactly you get out of a deficit, whether that's 3 days before or 7 days before, depends on how diet fatigue you are. The higher the diet fatigue, and especially hunger, the sooner you want to transition out of a deficit. That's because nobody is going to be able to eat mindfully when they're starving and surrounded by delicious food. If you give yourself at least a few days to eat more calories and quell the hunger and cravings, you have a much easier time avoiding excesses while you're away. And if you want all of my tips on transitioning from a deficit back to maintenance calories without overeating, check out episode 144 of this podcast, How to Transition Out of a Deficit Without Fat Regain. Next up, I'm going to cover my 3 suggestions for the holiday itself. Number 1, stop wasting calories. There is no need to drop 800 calories on crappy airport food. Bring protein bars and fruits, or a meal that you prepared yourself, or anything else that works for you. And when it comes to highly palatable foods, like burgers, fries, ice cream, and so on, 1, don't eat anything that comes your way just because it looks tasty. Choose only fuck yes foods and leave the rest. 2, do not finish your plate if you're out of fuck yes bites, because each bite costs you the same calories, but the enjoyment of a certain food diminishes with every bite. And so many of us often find ourselves cleaning the plate just because the food is there, even though by bite number 10, you could take it or leave it. In which case, leave it. Save those calories for something else. 3, consider how eating will make you feel, not only right now, because of course it'll be delicious, but later on too. And if you want to feel a fuck yes later, you want to avoid eating foods that you regret or eating so much that you feel stuffed, sluggish, and nauseous. And if you're relatively new to the podcast or you missed that particular episode, fuck yes foods, bites, and feelings make up what I call my fuck yes framework to enjoy tasty food without overeating, which I covered in a 7-minute episode titled Mini Mindset Musings, episode 7. So go and check that one out when you're done with this one. Number 2, stop people pleasing. You do not need to eat burgers and fries just because the people that you're with want to do that. And you do not need to eat when they're eating either. You can be with them at the restaurant and have fun and still make your own choices or decide to eat at a later time. Nobody is crying themselves to sleep because you said no to chips and vodka. And if you make choices that you regret, people will notice that you're not enjoying yourself. So you may think that you're making everyone happy, but you're not, because nobody likes it when you're not enjoying yourself, if they care about you, obviously, which I hope they do if you're on holiday with them. In addition to that, you're also setting yourself back in the pursuit of your own goals, which is a double whammy at its finest. And number 3, stop leaving your healthy habits at home. Instead of telling yourself that you can't eat, you can't track your calories, and you can't exercise as usual, and putting all these habits on hold and going YOLO for a week, maintain at least one aspect of your routine, but adjust it to suit your new circumstances. I'm going to give you 3 examples. Example number 1. If you always go to the gym when you're all out of bed in the morning, but you don't have a gym where you're staying, you can go for a long walk or do a bodyweight only hotel workout. Example number 2. If you normally have a protein shake for breakfast, but you don't have one at your hotel, you can bring your own protein powder. Final example. If you always stop eating after 7 p.m., but your schedule is all over the place while you're away, make a new rule and stop eating after dinner. No late night snacking. Basically, pack your routine in your suitcase and you find that going back to it when you come home is going to feel a lot easier. Finally, I'm going to cover my top strategies for when you come back from holiday. Number one, make it as easy as possible to get back into your routine. And this starts before you leave. That's when you want to buy some ready meals or you want to prep them yourself and then freeze them so that you have at least 1 day's worth of food to come back to. So you don't end up ordering takeaway because the fridge is empty and you're too tired to go grocery shopping when you come back after an 8-hour flight. And if you're worried that you'll find it difficult to get back into your regular training program, you want to schedule your first session on Google Calendar or any calendar that you use for as soon as possible when you come back, like an urgent work appointment. Number two, do not weigh yourself the day after you return if you don't have a neutral relationship with the scale yet. Because your weight is almost always going to be all over the place and unreliable the day after you get back from a holiday, which happens for 4 reasons that have nothing to do with fat gain. Reason number one, people retain water when they're traveling, which brings the scale weight up. Number two, you probably didn't shit as much as usual while you were away. Number three, if you were more active than usual, you probably have more inflammation from the extra activity, which is normal and harmless, by the way. But it also means extra water retention. Reason number four, you probably slept poorly, which means higher cortisol levels, and again, more water retention. Basically, apart from the constipation problem, which is going to increase the weight on the scale for obvious reasons, the other reasons have to do with water retention. The thing is, whichever the reason is, your weight is likely to be up when you come back. And the problem is, right now, when you get back from holiday, you're weighing yourself because you're worried that you fucked up. And you're hoping that the scale will tell you that you didn't do as terribly as you fear. Or maybe you have a masochistic streak and you're hoping the scale will show you exactly how badly you fucked up and thus validate your urge to beat yourself up about it. Either way, when the scale is up, you digi-evolve into one of these two, the crash dieter or the self-pity wallower. So let me talk you through what these two get up to. The crash dieter tries to use shame as motivation. I gotta get my shit together is their mantra as they proceed to set 1200 calories as their MyFitnessPal targets and commit to doing resistance training, cardio, and 10,000 steps every single day, 7 days a week. And 2 weeks later, they're starving, burnt out, and not even losing weight as fast as they feel that they deserve based on all the effort they're putting in. And eventually, they break, turn into a food vacuum cleaner for a weekend, then they step on the scale again on Monday and start this vicious cycle over and over again. On the other hand, the self-pity wallower looks at the number on the scale and has a little mental breakdown. They think, well, I fucked up, so what's the point? And they don't want to go back to their diet. They can't face their old training program. They turn a single week-long holiday into weeks of self-loathing and soothing their feelings with more food, which is way worse than the extra 2 pounds that they might have put on while away. Now, you don't want to be either the crash dieter or the self-pity wallower, and you want to do this instead. First of all, accept that yes, you could have done better on holiday, and then get over it. Second of all, do not weigh yourself for a week because the number is only a distraction at this point. Most people, as I've said, will retain water right after traveling. The scale will be up, even if they haven't gained fat, and you do not need that headache right now. Finally, put your head down and get back to following a sustainable plan. With this approach, you're not punishing yourself for a week away, you're taking action to ensure that one pear-shaped holiday doesn't set you back for weeks. Number 3, and this is going to be my final strategy for today, do not forget about the holiday. If you're not proud of how it went, turn this insuccess into an opportunity. If you forget about it, you learn absolutely nothing, and you're just going to end up in the same place every time you go on another holiday. But if you reflect on this one, and you consider 1, what you did really well, and 2, what you could have done better, you can use these reflections to do better in the future. And that is the single most important thing that you can do for yourself after a holiday, because fat loss is messy, and nobody's good at it from the get-go, and sometimes you fuck up, even when you know exactly what you're doing. So do not focus on being perfect, whether during the diet or when you go on holiday. Focus on getting better over time. And that is a wrap for today's podcast. If you want to sign up for one-on-one coaching with me, This is a great opportunity to do so you can get my support and guidance to navigate the summer holidays and your fitness goals with more confidence. As usual, you'll find a link to the application form in the show notes, and this link includes the form, obviously, but also a description of each service and the price. Thanks for listening or for watching on YouTube, and I'll talk to you next time.